Right, station 2, a size 7 wedding ring has a circumference of about 54 millimeters. So like this distance all the way around is about 54 millimeters. I want to know what the radius is of that ring. So if I could draw a point right here, right to the edge, what's that distance right there? And this size 7, actually the number 7 doesn't have any bearing on what we need. It's just a denomination of sizes for rings, but it doesn't correspond with what anything we need. All that we need to know to find the radius is actually just this part right here, which is the circumference of the wedding ring. So the formula that we need to use is one that involves circumference and radius, and that formula is circumference equals 2 pi r. All right, and there's my r. So I don't know what the r is, that's what I would be solving for, but I do know what the circumference is, which is the only other variable. Right? Pi is not a variable, it's actually just a number. So I'm going to plug in 54 for the circumference because that's what it tells me the circumference is. And then I'm going to solve for r. So if I look at this formula right here, right, I need to get r by itself. So I can divide by 2 pi, which is just going to be a number. And then these would cancel, right? And so I'd be left with r by itself over there, which is exactly what I want. So on my calculator, I need to take 54 and divide it by 2 pi. But be careful when you do this, because if I do 54 divided by 2 pi, right, and you can use the pi button if you have it, or just use 3.14 if you don't. But if I do this, it's actually going to give me the wrong answer. 84.8. First of all, that answer doesn't even make any sense, because if we think about the question, the circumference was only 54. How could this distance possibly be 84, even bigger than the circumference? So it doesn't make sense. And if you think about what your calculator does, is order of operations, it's going to do 54 divided by 2, but then it's going to multiply that answer by pi. Even though it looks like it's dividing by 2 pi, it's actually 54 divided by 2 times pi. And that's the order that you don't want. So what you want to do is 54 divided by 2 times pi together, because that's what you really divide it by. So if you group them together, it's going to take 54 and divide it by the product of 2 times pi. And then we have our correct answer of about 8.6 millimeters, right? So 8.6 millimeters, which that answer should make a lot more sense.